this is Yana. Welcome to the Creators Q&A, and thank you so much for all the questions and all the really heartfelt messages that you all left me, or comments that you all left me on the last episode of my weird roommate. A lot of you are really thankful for the story, and it's so nice to read it. So I want to say thank you so much, and I hope that this Q&A would also help answer some of the stuff you have about the creator and the creating process and about the backstory of my weird roommate. So we shall start with the first question. What inspired you to make this story? Well, as you all know, if you read the first few episodes, that there was one extra that said we were sad that we didn't win the contest. Yeah, that was the reason why I made my weird roommate. It's for the webtoon contest, and at the time I already have Where's My BL Story, which is my original comic, and I wanted to participate in the contest, but I also didn't want to put too much time and energy in the contest submission, because I also want to focus on my original comic and I would also like to finish it. And that is why I created that minimalistic art style and the way of the more minimalistic way of telling the story. If you go back and you check, the first few episodes are all really short sketches of things that happens. It's a very slice of life kind of feel to it. I had the inspiration with my giant nerd boyfriend. It's one of Webtoon's original, and the way she did it was also panels by panels, short story, short sketches, and she did very well on Webtoon. So that's what I base my weird roommate on. Since I also want to win the contest, and I really want to have a formatting that Webtoons also approve of. So that's why I took the inspiration from there. And how the story came about is because I was watching Matt Shea YouTube channel. He played The Sim, and one of his Sim 4 series was called My Weird Room. It started with My Weird Roommate, and I thought that is a nice concept. And so I thought, because it's also really random, I decided like on the spot I will join a contest, and 30 minutes later I have that logo you all know so well, my weird roommate made. And the reason I took punk and nerd is because of it's a reference to Avril Lavigne's Skater Boy song. I think if you read the introduction, you will have seen that he was a boy. He was a punk and he was a nerd. Can I make it any more obvious? And it is going to be a BL, so romance is gonna happen between. You kind of know that romance is gonna happen between these two main leads, and that's the reason why they don't have real names. A lot of people wanted them to have real names, but I just like them as punk and nerd, and I think it will eventually become them the more you read about them. So it will automatically just become their names. At least to me. So yeah, that's what inspired me to make that story. The contest and my weird roommate concept and punk and nerd with reference to Avril Lavigne. It's very random, but I made it and it happens. And the next question is this comic based on real life? I have to say no. The truth is, this is purely fiction, with parts of the story based on things that happen, but I modify it in a way to fit the storyline. Like I do use my own experience and my own things that happened for me in the past of stuff that people can relate. I do put it in the comics because at the end of the day, a creator get her inspiration based on what she herself know, her experience, the people that she talks to, the people that she knows. That's where you get your experience or your inspiration or your storyline. So actually, it's all fiction, as you can see, I'm not nerd. I'm a female. I am straight. I'm in a relationship with my boyfriend for 11 years now. That is why I'm able to draw a slice of life story that is quite revolved around romance and just the daily day-to-day stuff, because that's how my life is. I have a boyfriend and he's sweet. So I have all this experience that I can share with you all in terms of a comic. And the reason why I wrote BL is because I find normal romance between guy and girls are a bit too is boring for me. I don't have the passion enough to write about them. They face different stuff that uh, I don't really like. I like that I like love that happens because you like each other and not because of your gender or because of a certain thing that make you belong to each other. For example, like guy meet girls, romance can happen. I like the fact that if you're gay or if you're a certain how you say certain sexuality, I like it like Pong that he doesn't really care about sexuality that much, but if he finds a person that he loves, he will go for it. And I think that is the purest form of love there is. And that's why I draw a boy love type of comic. And the reason why it's boy love and not girl love is because well, I'm straight, so I like to see guys. That's why I like drawing guys. So that is actually logical, I think. But I do plan to draw a girl love in the future because I think girls are pretty cute, and ever since I've drawn Nos, Pang's childhood friend, I really have that sense of like, okay, she's pretty cute, and I would really like to flesh out her character more as well. So if let's say I'm gonna draw a girl love in the future, it will be featuring Nos, Pang's childhood's friend. Yeah, so that's yeah, the story is fiction, and it 50% based on real life, based on my own experience. So that answered it. And the next question is, are any of the character in My Weird Roommate based off real people, and if so, which ones? Well, nerd, I can definitely say like 80% or 90% is based on me because I'm also very nerdy. I love to binge watch anime. I can be so obsessed with fictional characters. I think obsession is one of a trait a fangirl has to have, or a fan person has to have, because that way you can be so invested in something that is fictional, and it it gives you so much energy. I don't know if you all have that, but if I'm so obsessed with something or I'm passionate about something, it gives me so much energy. I can just push through, and I just want to know everything about that subject, or I just get depressed about it just because I'm so invested. So that part of nerd I really do have. The fact that he's also a comic artist, basically. And the fact that he's also blonde and antisocial, that's also kind of like me. I don't really have that much friends. I basically don't have any friends except for my boyfriend and his friends. And even with his friends, it's like Pong and it's like Nerd and Pong has this group of friends, and yet Nerd doesn't have one. But Nerd is also friend with them in that more acquaintance way, but maybe it will get deeper in the further in the story. But that is how my relationship also is with other people. But I am really really close with my family, and for me that's enough. I have like a mom, dad, a younger sister, and a younger brother. I'm the oldest. That's where the protective part comes in, because I'm the older sibling, maybe, I don't know, but that's how it relates to Bane. Uh, Ben is super protective, as you already know it, of the people he cares about, like his mom and Ash. And Pong is also a little bit like on my side, in a way that he doesn't really care what other people think. He just do his own thing, and he's also really calm. Uh, and he's kind and thoughtful. The kind and thoughtful part is a bit based on my boyfriend, but I think my boyfriend is more 80% Drew than anyone else. So Drew is basically based on my boyfriend. He's this like really sweet person, really shy, very gentlemanly. But my boyfriend is not Drew in a way that he um, well, I can say 80% my boyfriend is like Drew. So Drew is based on a lot of my boyfriend traits. Uh, and Angel is based on also myself, since I'm also a girl, and Angel is also a girl, and girls have their own other problem also in life, like if compared to guys. Basically, you haven't know about Angel's backstories, but she does have a tough time also in high school. I think no one knows about it yet because we haven't addressed Angel's backstory, but she became who the way she are now, or the way she is now. The confidence is all comes from previous experience. You can tell from the Q&A or the character sheet that she really doesn't really like alpha-ish woman. That scares her a little bit, but she is kind of one as well, except she's just confident in her own strength. She won't push it on others. She won't like step down on you to show her strength. She's just a strength on her own, and I really admire a woman like that. And she's sure of herself. Only sometimes she gets a bit insecure with regards to her previous sexual experience. But I guess that's everyone's insecurity. Sometimes if they meet someone they really like and they're unsure if it's acceptable or not. So Angel is also kind of me in that way. I mean, a person has some personality, but they are also multifaceted. You can't just put a person in one trait and then you expect that person to be that one thing. Yeah, that's how I see it. For example, I like Yuri on Ice, super fluffy kind of thing, but I also read Killing Stalking, and that is on a complete other spectrum. Just because I like one thing doesn't mean I can like the other stuff. So that's basically how all this spectrum of our own personality that I split into characters. As for Ash would be me as well. How I would turn out if I hadn't met my boyfriend 11 years ago. I probably would have also strayed a little bit, but luckily for me, I met my boyfriend at the right time. So it didn't really happen, but I could foresee myself going down that path. So who else do we have left? Bane, we have. I think we had everyone, right? Yeah. So that's where all my characters are based on. And on to the next question. Who is your favorite character you have made? That's pretty simple. I would say Nerd. Nerd because he's the most relatable one, and because I think he consists of 80% of the readers or 70% of the readers. Most people are just born like in an average family, living an average life, not many traumas. I think. I mean, of course, there are some that do overcome traumas and things that really happen, but I think most of us are like maybe 50%, I don't know, are just going through life, just trying to just trying to do what's best for us and for the people around us, and yeah, just going to school, trying to survive school, going to high school, trying to survive high school, going to college, trying to survive college, and then when you graduate, you have to see what you want to be. And I think that is a Nerd. He's very average. He has a supportive family, which is really, really nice. I know not everyone has that. And that helps in building the person who he is now, secure and sure of himself. At least he's comfortable in his own skin. And I think if someone is comfortable in their own skin, whatever life throw at them, they can take it and overcome it in a way. Because when you're sure of yourself, you kind of know how to solve it in a way that it's not self-destructive, or it's not because you love yourself. So you do it in a way that is more better for yourself. And I like that about Nerd. And the reason why he is the way he is because of his family, support he has, trust he built, and that gives a person their sense of self, I think. I mean, most teenagers doesn't really have that much of sense of self at that age, because they haven't worked yet, they haven't gained any life experience, they don't have anything that secure them deeply on who they are. They are still searching, and that is the very much the fragile time frame of your life, because you are still looking for it and you are still rocky on your foundations. But if you have a supportive family or supportive friends, and they help you build your sense of self, even though you have not accomplished much yet, that already helps for you in how you face the world, face other people. And I think that's why I really like Nerd. He has that, and no matter what you throw at him, he's able to take it and move on. And I think moving on is a very good trait to have. We all can be stubborn sometimes, but at the end of the day, what is good for you is, yeah, sometimes just to let go. You can be really passionate about something. For example, when I was with the contest, we were really high up there with the top 3 or something, but I did not win, and it was really crushing for a while. But after a day of just being sad and a bit frustrated, I got over it because of all the nice comment that you guys gave me. And I just thought, yeah, I didn't win the contest, so what? I have this comic, I made this comic, and I have you guys, the reader, who really loves it. So I was like, yeah, why not just continue the way I'm doing? It's not like I lost something. Something was there, you could get it, but it's not yours yet. So at the end of the day, yeah, just letting go is the best way of dealing with most problems, I think. Being stubborn makes it harder on yourself. So that's why Nerd is my favorite character. Right, and the next question is, which one of your stories is your favorite, and what other stories do you read? Okay, so basically, I have two main story. As you can see, Where's My BL Story? Where's My BL Story comprised of 2 arcs, Ruke BL Story arc, and Who's My BL Prince arc, which is the Riku arc. But they are all in the same comic. As you can see, we have already a lot of episodes, and that was my original comic. I'm still working on it, just not as frequent as My Weird Roommate, since My Weird Roommate has much more demand. But I also didn't want to abandon Where's My BL Story, so I am working on both comics at the same time. I really like here. So basically, there's 2 arcs. Where's My BL Story? It's about Ruke. It's a comedy arc, and Kay is basically like Nerd in a way, and he's in love with his childhood friend is in love with him. And we also have Who's My BL Prince, which is more drama in the genre and more angst. It's about Riku, a sweet boy who is forced into a situation that he is not very nice for someone his age, and his route is more towards his recovery and how he be the way they are. And I also have Discovery High. This is my very, very, very first comic that I have. I already wrote the whole story. This is the only comic that I have with the script, and it has a start and an end. The rest of the comic, I just go as I go. But this one has a script. As you can see, my art style is completely different back then. So that's why I stopped. I am taking a hiatus from it right now to revamp it to my current art style. Plus, if I want to work on it and I have to work on my weird roommate and BL story, I can't afford to color the panels. So this cover we hide in the new reformatted version is gonna be black and white. And up next, what are your top 10 BLs? This is a hard one because I have a lot, but I'm gonna pinpoint the ones that really make an impression on me and also that I like the author and their art style. So I have a lot of BL comics that I like, but I just want to pinpoint some of the ones that I really like the author and art style type. So coming up is my first one is Amero Paradox. It's by Natsume Isaku. I have all her mangas actually. I really like her art style because it's not her art style. Her art style is pretty simple, but I really like her storytelling. It's fluffy stuff. It's about normally it's really fluffy and it's always an established relationship, and then you can see how they go. But I really like American Paradox in a way that the characters are sweet, the interaction are sweet, and it's just fluffy and not really angsty. And I really like that kind of manga. And then next one would be Honto Yaju. I don't know if you know about that one, but it's about a gangster, a yakuza with who fell in love with a cop. And it's also really fluffy. So in the first volume already, they already got together. So it's about how the relationship develops throughout the series, and it's really sweet to read about. It's also very fluffy, sweet, domestic kind of manga, and I really like it. The art style is also really simple. It's not really pretty per se, but I really like the storytelling. So that's why these two are my top list for story type manga. But the next one is from Yata Momo. It's from Sensei Harada. Harada is, how do I say? She's, I don't know if it's she or he, but they are a psychological kind of very dark manga writer. So her story are pretty dark. Yata Momo is pretty dark because it deals with X-rated stuff or non-con kind of stuff. But I really like the story of Yata Momo because it shows how a person who is really in the down of the down found someone that really likes them for who they are and how they recovers from that trauma, or how they start to love again. And I really like that recovery route process, and I that's why I really like it. And the next one is also from Harada, and it's called Yoru no Asa. It's about a band and about one of the vocalist, one of the lead who likes the other guy. The other guy is homophobic at first, so it was a bit of a rift there, and it's pretty dark in the sense that there was also a non-con scene. But the story, I really like the art. That's basically why I also like horror stuff. I like the art. The art is very well drawn. The smut, especially the smut, is like, if let's say I want to have a reference on how I want to draw smut, it will be Harada's because it's just. And I have to say that Ash was based on Yoru, with the long hair and that white he has, the dark white he has. So when I draw Ash, I was thinking of Yoru. And the next one would be Jackass. Was it Jackass? I think it was Jackass. I can't remember the name per se, but Jackass Don't Touch Me, I think it's called something like that. But it's from Sensei Scarlet Boriko. She or he is the other sensei that is really really good at drawing smut or sex scenes. It is really really hot kind of sex scenes. That's why I also have Jackass, and the next one would also be Scarlet Boriko's work, Yondaime. The fourth generation head is a yakuza type of story. Her story is also pretty good because this one talks about how these two persons fall in love, and it's also pretty sweet and fluffy. Except there's a lot of sex going on. So I just want to point out Scarlet Boriko work because her art is really beautiful. The way she draw characters and bodies are just perfect. And for someone like me who can't really draw anatomy that well yet, I really refer to her work so I can improve my own anatomy and my own smart drawing. So yeah, that's why they are part of my top 10. The next one is an Omega verse. I don't know if you all like Omega verse, but I also sometimes really like Omega verse. And this is Megumi and Sugumi. It is Omega verse in a really different sense because it is fluffy. It's about how an alpha and an Omega fall in love, but the Omega is just pretty dumb, pretty blunt, and he's the type of stubborn that will try to force his heat to go away. So it's pretty funny in a way. And Alpha is like a gentleman guy, and that dynamic just makes my heart goes really sweet. So if you haven't read this yet, because I think this is fairly new, you should, because it's a super sweet Omegaverse comic. And then the next one I want to point out is Cigarette XXX. And the reason why this is also in my top 10 is because the story is also sweet and domestic and fluffy, and the artwork is just gorgeous. The way she draws her characters, beautiful, and the sex scenes are also really, really nice. So that's why I want to put it out there. And the next one is Mods. I also really like. And I haven't really talked much about angsty comic, but this storytelling here is really angsty. I cry so much reading this comic, and it really made an impact on me, especially since Riku's art also focuses on a recovery pathway, on how someone is suffering and has no confidence in themselves anymore and just think that this is how life is going to be, and yet they try to overcome it because there's someone who believes in them, and this story talks about it. So that's why I really, really like it. It really makes an impact on me, and the art style is also really pretty, especially how she draws semis, the top. They are really manly kind of tops, so I also really like that. And last but not least, I will also insert a manhwa. I'm actually more a traditional manga reader. I don't really read much webtoons or manhwas, but this one I read because of Bill. It's an Omegaverse, so they had a kid, and the kid is just so cute. I cannot not read it because of the kid. That's why it's also here. And Fargos, the creator of this comic, her art is just perfect as well. I love how she draws. She also always draws in black and white, and I love the way she screen tones. So whenever I have to go to something to refer on screen toning my webtoon, I will go to Fargo because I really like how she does it. But my technique hasn't gone to that level at all. I mean, she's like really, really nice work. So that's my top 10 BL. And the next question is, do you have any advice for anyone who's trying to make a webcomic? I think I do have an episode on Webtoon. I think it's episode 60, how to draw a comic by nerd. If you click on it, it will show everything on how you start making a webcomic, at least in my way. It will show you things starting from the equipment all the way to the paneling process. So what I use a Wacom tablet. It's a pretty simple one. It costs 60 to 70 euros. No, 60 to 70 dollars, I think. And you can connect it to your laptop. And the way you draw it is that you draw on the tablet and then you look straight into your laptop. I don't have a tablet with the screen on it. For me, this way works best because it helps me look upward like this, so I don't bend like this, so I don't get like back pains, and so I just draw like this, so it helps with my posture. That's how it helps me. And I use the program that I use is Medibang. It's a free program. You can just download it and then you can use it. It's one of the most simple platform that I know of. It's very straightforward. You don't have to learn too much. And I really like it because of how simple it is. But sometimes they lack materials that you can use. For example, text bubbles, screen tone materials, things that makes your work faster, like CSP. I also have CSP, which is Script Studio Paint. But because I'm so used to Medibang, switching to CSP is a bit hard. Because I have to get used to the software, and software is a bit more complicated, I think, on how to use. So at the end I couldn't switch, and I'm stuck with Medibang forever, I guess. But I'm happy with it. I can work with it. I work fast with it, so I don't see much of a sad point on that. So basically, how do you go with how you draw a panel, or how you storyboard, or how you make your story? You can read it in the episode, because it goes step by step on my thinking process. It's really up to each creator how they do their story. But the most important thing is you write what you want to tell. Don't let a commercial value or other people's opinion to influence your story, because at the end of the day, you are the one writing it. You are the one who's going to be spending hours on it. You are the one who's going to be grinding your back, working on each and every episode. So tell the story you want to tell, and not for anyone else, because you need to have passion, and you need to have dedication to be able to do it continuously. And the reason I am able to do it so regularly and so consistent is because I believe in my story. I believe in my readers. The readers are very encouraging, and I get support. The amount of support I get from you is outstanding. It's just and that is why I can keep on doing what I'm doing. But if you don't have that belief or support system, it's gonna be hard. So make sure, first thing, when you started out, believe in your own story. Don't let anyone else tell you otherwise. And on to the next question. How do you come about creating new story and protagonists of such stories? How I create stories, how I come up with scenarios. Basically, I do that a little bit in a way of like method acting. Basically, you have a person with a set of personality, and then you have a situation with things happening. Take that person, throw them in the situation, and then as a method actor, put that personality in yourself, and then see how you will react to the scenario. For example, I don't know. I mean, I used to act before I turned full-time comic artist. Like Angel, basically, it's nothing big or whatever. I just sometimes I do get small roles in small series, but I have a way of doing things in a way that when you are thrown in a scene, you have that set of personality, and then you see like how the person would react to it, and that's how I create my story. That's why my story are still pretty confined in a way that the personality is, I haven't really branched out. The personality is usually strong or sweet. You can tell from all my characters that you have read that they share a certain trait. I haven't yet wrote a character who is angry, who is hateful, who is stubborn or explosive, because I don't really grasp that emotions yet, because that is not the emotion I know or I can really process. So that's why I haven't created characters in that setting, or in that I haven't created character like that and put them in the same settings. For example, if you create characters like that and you put it in the same setting as the character you created for a person for the traits that I know, the way they handle the situation will be way different. For example, when Bane confronted Punk, if Bane or Punk, let's say, is an explosive person, or a hateful person, or an angry person, the way they react would be completely different. So that's how I draw my story. The set of personality that your character started off with is important. The scenarios are not really, because scenarios is something that you come up with. You can throw them in whatever situation, but the first thing you have to know is who is the person you are creating. And I think that is the core of how you can move your story forward. I really do hope that one day I will be able to create an explosive, uh, psychological, crazy character. But before I do that, I really have to delve deep into that personality trait. That's why I still read psychology comic like Killing Stalking, like really dark stuff, so that I can actually grasp why they do that or why they feel that way. And because at the moment I just cannot grasp it. If I can't grasp personality, I can't draw them. I can't create a convincing character. So that's why I haven't yet. And it's the same as well as a culture. If I don't know the culture, I also can draw a convincing character about the culture. So that's why I still refrain from doing that until I really know it, until I really study up on it. So because I really want to create convincing characters. So yeah, that's how I create my stories. And next question, if you make a new BL comic, what do you think it will be about? If I do make a new BL story after I finish everything, I really want to make an action drama one with hitmans and really dramatic plot, like life or death kind of situation that you can, because now it's a very slice of life. There's really no main event that will push out the extremities of your feelings. Like let's say someone's gonna die and you'll be like, oh, do I have to kill him? Do I have to not kill him? That kind of extreme feelings type scenarios I would really love to try. So if let's say I'm gonna make a VR story in the future, it will be something like that with hitmans and life of death situation. Yeah, dramatic. Next question is actually from a patron of mine. He's really nice, really sweet. He has been with me for a really long time. So, are you surprised how popular your stories are? And are you surprised on how many readers and fans you have? And well, I have to say that the amount of support that I have is just mind blowing. When I started the series, for the contest, I know that it was really popular already because we were up there in top three with in terms of audience engagement, and it really pumps me up. It really motivates me to keep going. And when I lost, it doesn't really matter because I still have you guys, and I just keep going. And every time I read all the comments, webtoon, tapas, webcomic, patron. I read everything. So actually, sometimes it costs me hours of my time, but I really like to read it because it helps fuels me and helps produce new episodes. If you want to know why my Weird Roommate can be where it is now, it's because of you guys. Without your support, I really doubt that it can come this far. Every time I produce a new episode, it's because I have to push from the previous episode by how excited you are to know what's going to come, invested in the characters. You're just so passionate about the story that I think that wow, I cannot disappoint you guys. And you also, your enthusiasm makes me excited about what's to come for the story. So that is a win-win situation, and I cannot say how much thank you I have to you guys who are my readers, who support me on the platform itself, but who also came to Patreon, taking the time to came to Patreon and to support me financially. That is a really big thing for me because I started out as a freelancer. I worked odd hours, and at the time when I'm still working, I draw comic as well. And sometimes I just take my laptop and I just take it to the set, and while people are getting ready, I'll be drawing, and everyone will be coming to see what are you drawing. And sometimes if I have to draw smart, I have to go to a corner somewhere. So that was a good old times where I juggle both thing. I think I did that for like 1.5 years, where I juggle both jobs. So it was really nice when I was able to just quit what I was doing before and then focus entirely on the comic. And you guys help me do that, and that's why now I can give so much content, because I have all this time now that I can focus on the comic itself and focus on making it better, like the backstory, and focus on improving my smut. This all my improvement, all the time that I was able to give to my comic because of you guys. So thank you so much for that. You just can't really know how thankful I am for you all. And the reason that you all can still read the comic is also thanks to you guys. So just know that you don't have to thank me too much, but more like thank yourself for keep reading the comic. Thank yourself for keep trusting in me. Thank yourself for keep pushing me forward. So yeah, thank you guys. Next question is a super simple one. Where can I find your patron? At the end of every episode, there's always on Webtoon at least. There's always the link. Be a patron. Just click on it and you'll be directed right to my patron page. But if you are confused, it's super easy. You go to Google. You type www.patreon.com with a stroke, Sakura Yana, and you'll be directed to my page. That is my link. I will also put it in the YouTube video, in the link in the YouTube video below, so you can also have it. Once you are directed to my page, you'll see all the tiers that I have. I have tier 1, which is the sketches. You have access to the patron feed. Sometimes I have posts that are just available for patron. Doesn't matter which tier you are. So even though you're at tier 1, you might get access to a lot of other stuff that are just there, but I just post just for patron. So basically, tier 1 is sketches. Tier 2 is where reading in advance for Where's My BL Story and My Weird Roommate. We are way in advance, so like 10 episodes for My Weird Roommate and like 2 episodes, which is like basically 2 months worth of update for My BL Story. And tier 3 is illustration. Tier 4, not the uncensored version of my BL story. So tier 4 has nothing to do with My Weird Roommate. Tier 5, all the backstory for My Weird Roommates and extra comic for BL story. So you get 2 things, backstory and extras. Tier 7 is not safe for work illustration for both My Weird Roommate and BL story. Tier 10 is the canon smart for My Weird Roommate. So basically all the sexy stuff that happens in the comic itself, all the sexy stuff that happens in the comic itself will be in tier 10 because it's not going to be shown in public. A lot of not safe for creators right now are having a lot of struggling time because of that. You can't share any X-rated stuff anymore. You get shut down completely, or you get you get kicked out of the program, or you get banned from ad revenues, all those kind of stuff. So that's why I put it on Patreon. If you want to read the Discovery Hide the revamp version in advance, it's also in tier 10. And there's also my Where's My BL Story, the porn star alternate universe. It's also there. It's completed, so you can also read that. And then you have tier 15, which is postcards, which I send out every month, but because of the recent COVID-19 thing, it has been a bit delayed. But at the moment, the posts are stable, so I'm sending all the delayed stuff right now. So if you are newly patron, you have to be a bit patient because I might only be sending your stuff out in September or something. Postcards are like this, as you can see. These are our June postcard, the bright one. Normally I send it in an envelope, so you don't have to worry about it getting scratched or whatever. And I've been doing this for a year plus now, so some patron who has been with me for a year has like 12 of this postcard, and it's funny to see them like they keep it in an album or something, so they can just see it whenever they want. And there's also tier 20, which is postcard and stickers. That's everything. I mean, the higher you go, you get everything below, so don't worry about that. So tier 20, you get the stickers, which is 5 centimeter big. This is also the bright ones, and the bright ones. So basically, I still have to send this out. As you can see, is how thick it is. So you also get stickers with them. 2 stickers for every month. And shipping is included, so you don't have to worry about shipping. You just get them in your once you pledge tier 15 or tier 20. So that's my Patreon. Alright, next question is still Patreon related. For people who cannot afford Patreon, will they be able to see the backstory or will it always remain a mystery? Well, it depends. In Patreon, the backstory are told in a way that the timeline is always in the past. So it's like a story told in the past. In My Weird Roommate, as the main story, it's always in the present. You see them in the present doing things that are in the present. But sometimes the character will also be forced to talk about their past. For example, the most easy example is the Pillow Talk series. Everyone there did talk about their past, and that is how you all in the main story who couldn't afford a patron will know about their past if the character talks about it. And the way it was told is also you will know it based on how the character wants you to know it, or how the character tells the story. It might be a bit different on how the event actually happens, because in the Patreon, the backstory is told in the exact timeline of the past. So you see them in the past going through the stuff that happens. And with the main story, the character will tell you what happened, and it really depends on the narrative of the characters. So sometimes it might be a bit off. For example, how Ash and Punk hook up. It's still pretty vague because of how the narrative are telling them, like how they share them. They won't like just come out and say, this is what happened. This is all the details. No one will tell a story like that. And also based on how the character remembers it, the narrative might be different. So that is how you all will know the backstory if, let's say, the character decided to talk about it. It might be a bit different from how the actual thing happens. So that is how I do the backstory for the paying people and the one for public. I will try always to make sure that it doesn't feel like you are losing major information with the main story while you're reading the main story, because you don't have access to the backstory. Because I will not do that, because it will make how the people reading the main story a bit lost, and that's not so nice. So I always make sure that the scene that happens, even if you don't know the backstory, is still you're still able to follow the story. So don't worry about that too much, and just enjoy the main story. The main story covers basically most of the whole storyline because it's in the present. But if you want to know the character better, then you get the backstory, and then you know them better, and maybe kind of understand why they do things certain ways and that sort of stuff. So yeah. The next question is about My Weird Roommates and the books. Where you can buy the books on Blurb. You don't have to hurry to buy it because it's a print on demand basis. So the book will forever be there, and whenever you have the money, you can just buy it if you want. And if you don't have it now, you don't have to buy it now. You can go to my Patreon, and at my Patreon, if you look at the master post, you'll see that there's a link to the books. If not, you can also go to my Twitter or whatever. I can also put the link in the video below, so you can also know where you can find my books. It's at Blurb. It's a manufacturer that prints book on demand. You won't get the book from me. The book will be sent to the manufacturer straight to you. So if you buy them, it will be printed and then it will be shipped to you. And if you want to know if it's shipping to your country, you just need to click on the book, add to cart, and then just fill in your details, and then you can see how much it will also cost to go to your country, and if it is shipping there. And then you'll see the total cost, and then you know how much it will cost to buy the books. I can't tell you exactly how much it is for country, because you just really need to how do you say it? Just add to cart, go to the shipping place, fill in your information, and then you'll see how much it will cost. All right, next question. I know you won't see it, but what is your life motto? Okay, life motto. I think life motto is, for me, is just do what you like. Do what you do. Just go and do the things that you want to do. I know not many people know what they actually want to do in life, so that is a bit hard if you just say go and do what you want to do. But I'm sure everyone has something that they secretly wants to do, or just have interest in something, if you have that, then I say just go ahead and do it. Because you never know unless you try, and that is how I do most of my stuff. It's nice to hesitate, or it's nice to think a lot about stuff or overthink things, but I think at the end of the day, things will only happen if you go and do it. So if you want things to change or your current situation to change, go ahead and do it. Try it out. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. As long as it's something you want to do, you are responsible for yourself. So if you did it and you fail, you only have to answer to yourself. And as long as you have done it, there's no shame in admitting that you have tried. So basically, that's how I see things. I hope most of you, if you have something you want to do, that you can do it, and wish you most success in it. Alright, next question. Do you play Animal Crossing? Yes, I do. I actually bought the Switch just to play Animal Crossing. I already built an island. I already had a lot of, how do you say it? A lot of villagers that I really like. I'm trying to collect the pigs at the moment. As you can see, one of the characters that I really like came to my campsite, which is Marshall. But for some reason, if your island is full, you can't accept anyone, and he left me. So I still have to go find this person here, because I really like how he looks, or the character looks as a whole. But recently I've been pretty busy, so I didn't really get to play much Animal Crossing. And since my island is already done in a way that I don't need to do any of the construction anymore, I kind of lost a bit of interest in playing it. But then recently, a friend of mine sent me the Pokemon Sword, which I installed and then got addicted as well. So I have been training my Pokemons and fighting the gym leaders for the past couple of days. So if you think my productivity is low, you can blame the person for sending this game to me. So basically, my Switch now has just two games. Animal Crossing and Pokemon Sword. But even with Pokemon Sword, I've cut down now because I have been busy the past few days. So I did not play as much as I wanted to. Yeah, but that's just my Nintendo Switch game. I just bought the game for Animal Crossing, so I don't have that much game yet. So if you have any suggestion of what is nice to play, just let me know. Alright, the second last question. Is this series over? And if it is, when is your next project and whatever you're gonna do GL or not? The GL question I've already answered. But the main question is the series over? Well, as I've mentioned before, as Nerd mentioned before, the series is going to be over the way we know it. Because we are at 199 episodes. It's going to be the end of an era. And whether it will continue or not, we shall see on Monday. Just be there on Monday when I update, and then we will see if it's continuing or not. I'm not gonna say anything spoilery alert, but you will see then. Last question. Why do you like bringing misery to your readers? That's a very nice question. That is because I just enjoy it so much. The reason why I like to tease you all so much is because of the reaction you gave me. I don't know if you know, I mean, like some kindergarten, if they like something, they would like to bully it a little bit to just provoke a reaction to come out. And I'm kind of evil in that way, because I like to see how you all react to something I say or I do. For example, like if the series ending, I saw a lot of you freaking out about it. There's even one person on Tapas that rants like a whole paragraph of things, which I love reading, and then for some reason just get really, I just get really like a from it. I don't know. I'm weird that way. That's why I like. It's because I like you guys that I like to tease you guys, because that's how I interact with the readers. You know, just. It's not just yeah. I like to leave you on cliffhangers. I like to time you off with the patron stuff. But that's just because I like you guys. Okay. No other stories than that. And I just want to say thank you so much for listening to this Q&A. I think it's a pretty long one because there was a lot of questions, and I tried to make it as short as possible, but I think it became pretty long. But thank you so much for watching this, and thank you for so much for supporting me for these 2 years with the comic. It's been a long time, and I hope you'll still be here with me for anything I do in the future. And I will see you on Monday with the update. Bye.